All right, in this video, I'm going to talk about how you add and subtract decimals. So up at the top here, I have some notes which basically say you're going to stack the numbers up, okay? But when you stack them up, you need to line up the decimal points. It actually doesn't matter where the end of the number is, it matters where the decimal points are. Add and subtract your normal, right? Add placeholders if you need them, add or subtract normally, and then drop the decimal point straight down into the answer. Okay, there's a couple problems that are worked out, but I'm going to start with problem number 1, and I'm going to do exactly what I said. I'm going to pay attention to where the decimals are here and here, and make sure when I stack up my numbers, those are stacked up. So you want to make sure these decimal points line up. So then we're just going to add normally. So 6 plus 1 makes 7, 3 plus 4 makes 7, and the decimal is going to drop straight down. So, right, it is in line with the other decimal points. So this answer would be, what is that, 7.7? Okay, and so now I'm going to move on to number 2 here and do the same thing. Now, it doesn't matter which number you put on top for addition. So if I start with 5.6 and then I do 20.1, right, make sure, again, the decimals have to line up. Do your normal addition. 6 plus 1, 5 plus 0, and then 2 is just 2. Drop the decimal straight down. So then my answer here is going to be 25.7. So other than, right, doing normal addition, we're going to carry if we need to. Let's see if we can find a problem that we need to add a 0 or something like that. All right. Oh, here's one. Perfect. The example I worked out. So the first number here was 4.015, so 4.015, and then I have 7.43. So to make sure that those decimals line up, right, I have 7 here and then 0.43, there was a space here. And so basically I just put a 0 here as a placeholder, so that way I make sure that everything lines up. So when I do my addition, everything works out. So 5 plus 0 is 5, 1 plus 3 makes 4, 0 plus 4 is 4, 4 plus 7 makes 11, and the decimal just goes straight down. So your final answer here is 11.445. Okay, so let's move on to number 4. So 8.9 and then 6.3, and again, adding those up. So far, the problems that I've been doing, the decimals are lining up perfectly. No need to put a placeholder in, but you saw what happens when you do. So let's see, 9 plus 3 makes 12, so carry the 1 there. Let's see, 6 plus 8 is 14, plus 1 makes 15. Drop the decimal straight down. Oops, change color there. And then my answer here is going to be 15.2. Okay, want to make sure that, again, all the decimals are lining up, so when you do your addition, everything works out. All right, 2 more addition problems here. So let's do 23.11 and then 4.6. If you want to put the placeholder for 0 in, I would welcome you to and encourage you to. That way you're not messing up which numbers get added up with which. So 1 plus 0 makes 1, 1 plus 6, 7, 3 and 4 is 7, drop the 2. And speaking of drop, let's drop that decimal straight down. So final answer here would be 27.71. Make sure I can read that decimal. And then moving on to number 6 here, we've got 20.6 plus 18.9. That's addition. Let's see, 6 and 9, it makes 15. That's a 9 when I carry the 1. And then a 2 and 1, 3. Drop that decimal straight down. And so this is going to be 39.5. All right, now, the only difference with subtraction, okay, is that at some point you might have to do some kind of borrowing. With addition, we do carrying. With subtraction, we have to borrow. The very first question in the subtraction set was the one I did for you originally. And you'll notice there's a whole bunch of things drawn over these. So you started off with 88.5. And then we're subtracting 83.68. And yes, it makes a difference, right? You got to put the first number on top and then subtract the second one. But here's the thing. When we line up our decimals, the 5 and the 6 line up, but 8 had nothing above it. And so it is super important to put a 0 there as a placeholder. so that when we do our subtraction and we start with 0 minus 8, there was a borrow here. Okay, so that 5 became a 4. Borrow that 1, so now we have a 10 here. 10 minus 8 is 2. Okay, so that's easy enough. Then I had a 4 here. 4 minus 6, that's not going to go so well. So I borrowed from this 8, became a 7, and then this 4 became a 14. 14 minus 6 is 8, and then I continued my subtraction. 7 minus 3 is 4. 8 minus 8, there's nothing there. It's all gone. So final answer here when you drop the decimal straight down is 4.82. All right, number 8. Let's go ahead and stack this up. So 7.5 minus 13.4. And do your subtraction. So 5 minus 4 is 1. 1 minus 3 doesn't work. So borrow from the 7 to make 11. 11 minus 3 is 8. 6 minus 1 is 5. Drop the decimal straight down. And since I'll keep that consistent, I've been changing the color with those decimal points to really exaggerate it. All right, so 58 point... Oops, I don't know why I wrote a 4 there. That's supposed to be a 1. There we go. All right, let's see what question number 9 has in store for us. All right, so 97.43. And by the way, you don't have to rewrite the first number. If you can make it work, my handwriting, I just prefer to write it myself because I tend to write larger generally. So placeholder here if you want the 0. So 3 minus 0 is 3. 4 minus 8 is not going to go so well. So let's borrow there. 14 minus 8 is 6. 6 minus 7, not quite going to happen. 16 minus 7 is 9. 8 minus 7 is 1. And dropping that decimal straight down, we've got 19.63 as our final answer when we do our subtraction. So let's see. Okay, so 26.2, 0.25, and subtract. Definitely 0 is a placeholder there. All right, 0 minus 5 doesn't go so well, so borrow from the 2 to make a 10. 10 minus 5 is 5. 1 minus 2, nope. So you're going to have to borrow again. 11 minus 2 is 9. And then keep going, so 5 minus 0 is 5. And drop the 2. Decimal drop straight down. So 25.95. All right, I think we've got 2 more to go. Let's see what we got here. Question, 2 more. So question 11. Another one, we're going to need to add a placeholder 0. I'll show that in just a second. So 57.25 subtracting. There's my 0. Okay. 0 minus 5, no, but I can just borrow from the 6. So 10 minus 5 becomes 5. 5 minus 2 is 3. Whoops. What just happened there? There we go. 3. 9 minus 7 is 2. 7 minus 5 is 2. Decimal moves straight down. So answer here, 22.35. By lining up the decimals, we are lining up all of our place values and just doing normal subtraction or addition. So 62.77, 41.1 minus 0 there is the placeholder. 7 minus 0 is still 7. 7 minus 1 is 6. 2 minus 1 is 1. That looks horrible. So let's try that again. And 6 minus... Moving again. 6 minus 4 is 2. And drop that down as my decimal. So final answer here, 21.67. All right, so that is the end of this video on adding and subtracting decimals. As always, let me know if you have any questions or concerns, and I will see you in the next one. Oops.